It's not like they're tapped into some magic source of genius that you're never going to be allowed go to.
Honestly, I've just realised that. Yeah, I have. I've just realised that.
It's just that there's certain people who are proactive and they do things and they create opportunities, and then there are people who allow their insecurities or their fear to stop them from doing things, and you know, it's a constant battle.
Yeah, but I think that's exactly it. I think that's probably the biggest thing that I have learned, or that I would say is that's so important to say, is that as much as you say people don't know what they're doing, they don't. Like, there isn't, like, these geniuses that we talk about that are actors or directors or whatever are smart, achieved, creative people, but no one actually knows any more than anyone else.
And I mean, you learn so much. You know, when I got Outlander, I had never done even a minute on a TV show. I'd done a couple of, you know, indie films, and I'd done like a day or two on a movie here and a day or two on a movie there, but it's such a different beast to like TV and all of the, like, I didn't know a damn thing.
And now, see, when I remember walking on set on my first day and having not known the show that well, so like I wasn't like starstruck I knew you as famous people, but I was so intimidated. I remember being so intimidated because you all knew so much. And you have this, do people tell you this, that you have this like presence, you have like this sort of aura and energy of like holding the set? No, you do. Well, I mean, maybe it's also the fact that you are leading.
I've reverted to my Irish, like, oh God, stop.
She's like, you're like curling in yourself, and this, like, we're just talking about how well achieved you're allowed to say you can.
I'm going to be, to accept the praise. Thank you, Lord.
But like that is, and people have said it, like people that come on set, you probably don't hear them, but people that come on for days or supporting roles that come on and they just are like, oh my God, she's just got this like energy of someone that really knows what they're doing and can really. I remember using the phrase, you like command the set, and not in a arrogant way. And I've never ever seen you get up in arms about anything other than the work and about things that really matter. And to have gone from some place that of very little knowledge, in terms of like technically even, to where you are now, like that's, and it's not even been that long.
No, I mean, well, first, I had a lot of great support in season one. And what I did have, I mean, if you look at season one, if you look at all of the actors that we had on that, I mean, the just brilliant British actors who had been around for a long time, who had done a lot of stuff. And even though Sam and I were pretty new, Sam had done quite a lot of stuff, but I was just surrounded by incredible people. So I was just learning off all of them all the time, just watching everybody and just being like, can I steal? But I do think one of the things that I try and do at work is make it a welcoming place. Because I think one of the hardest things to do is come on to a show for a day or two, or, you know, even if you are a regular on the show, but you're only in like 1 or 2 days this week or 1 or 2 days next month, you never get the rhythm that we get. You know, I am in such a privileged place because I'm in every day. I don't get phased. I don't get overwhelmed because that's that's where I spend most of my life. You know what I mean?
And you've like so many chances and opportunities to get it right and get it wrong.
And so it just feels so comfortable. But for someone stepping onto that, you know, I remember what it was like to walk onto a set where I don't really know anybody and people aren't as, you know, they're not kind of like, oh, Caitriona, please, here's your chair. They're like, yo, you know, you're just barely better than an extra. Stand over there, say your line, get it done quick, don't make a mistake, and then piss off. You know, and that's a terrifying and horrifying place to be. But yet, if everybody's not good and if everybody's not comfortable, the show suffers. You know, it's like you're only as good as every other person in the scene.
Totally.
And that's, I think, one of the big things where, you know, I can't stand when you meet selfish actors because it just drives me crazy.
Yeah, and
it's like, why do you think you're more important? Oh, that's my cat destroying the couch.
We've got Eddie.
Hi, Eddie.
Come over, Eddie. Hello. We've matched tonight, Eddie. To have that ability to sort of command the set and make people feel welcome and have respect. I think that's quite new. I don't think that that's always been the case, and I think it's really important that for like young actresses or other people that want to get into it can look to that and see that as something to strive for.
Yeah. Look, things are changing and we're all learning as we go along, and I think right now there's so many opportunities for women in this business in front of the camera. What I've noticed is, I'm very comfortable in a group of men, in a room full of men. I'm used to that atmosphere, but I've also had to be used to that atmosphere, right? And it's kind of been like that on our show from day one. We've had it in season 1. I remember when Laura Donnelly came on to the show, I nearly knocked her over. I was like a Labrador. I was like, oh my God, you're my age and you're a woman and you're like Irish, like talk to me.
Oh my God,
like, you're scary, like go away. But because there was so many Highlanders, there was so many guys.
Yeah.
But what I notice is that there's a very different atmosphere on a set when you have more women, not in front of the camera, but like in the crew and as a director or... when I worked on Money Monster with Jodie, as she was the director, and she had a lot of women in the crew. I mean, our DP was male in a lot of the camera department and stuff like that, but it just had a different energy. And it's funny, it's not better. No. It's just different.
Totally.
And I think, we try on our show to have female directors come in, but I think some women can work very well with the rest of the crew being male. But I also see some women where it's a different dynamic. Totally. And I see that they would thrive so much better if
there's a few more women around.
If there was a few more women around.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, I had an amazing conversation with this director, Alice Waddington. She's a Spanish director, and she's got a movie coming out this year. And we had this most incredible conversation about... She had primarily just an entire female crew.
Wow.
And what that felt like and what that did to the film and how it changed. And I've seen her film, it's beautiful, and it's such a different type of film to anything I've really seen. Like, it's so feminine. In her own very particular way.
Yeah. And that can span so much as well. Feminine can span mountains, but...
Yeah, but this is very particular. So, I think in our industry, we just really need to provide an environment where more women can be behind the camera.
So we've had the album, we've had the book, and we've had the film that have been created in some way by a woman that has influenced you, a cool woman in your life. Is there just a woman out with those things that's had a major impact in your life?
I think I've read nearly everything Joan Didion has ever written.
Cool.
I don't know, there's something about how she writes that just resonates with me in such a way, and I want to live in her time and just do all that. And her favourite book, they're making it, and I'm sort of... It's the first time, The Last Thing He Wanted, and it's one of my favourite books ever of hers. And I'm sort of
Can we get
excited, and also, well, no, because it's already, I was told, I remember years ago trying to see if I could get the rights to it, and I was told she will never give the rights to her books.
Oh my God.
And then I remember I got one of those, I get the emails from the Hollywood Reporter or whatever, the headlines. And Dee Reese is directing it, who I'm very excited about. And now, why brain? Oh no, Anne Hathaway is playing the lead. So I'm sort of excited to see, but it's the first time I think I've ever felt an ownership to a book or something where they're making something, and I was like, oh shit, I've turned into one of those crazy fans where I'm like, what are they going to do to it?
It's like
don't ruin it.
It's like when Harry Potter comes out, every child is like, it needs to be exactly how I imagined everything in my head.
With Outlander, and I understand how all those women feel now, because I'm like, what are you going to do to this character and all of these characters, and what are they going to look like, and and now I'm like, oh God, I understand it. That's the first time.
I was going to say, that's the first time you've like been able to, because I can't say that I've ever been a major fan of anything to the point that I've met some of our fans who are unbelievably dedicated and incredible with the show, but I can't say I can relate to that. So, and if that's the first time you can.
Yeah, I feel like it's the first time.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And now I know how they